Hey guys, in this video we're just going to do an unboxing. This has just arrived in the mail. This is the Suicide Squad Batman figure from the folks over at Hot Toys. Of course, a full review of him will be happening shortly after the unboxing, but this is just kind of my initial take on what the figure looks like. I haven't really taken him out of the box yet, so I'm going to do this all on camera. And then, like I said, we're going to do a full review of him after the fact. So, you know, this is just, like I said, just an unboxing. This arrived in the mail yesterday, actually. So we're just going to slide it out. Apparently it is upside down. And this is also the Sideshow exclusive. So here's what the box looks like. It's kind of like in the same vein as what we've seen so far with all these Suicide Squad figures. This kind of old... It kind of reminds me of... is it The Great Gatsby? Like the kind of art styling here. And we've seen again this with the Deadshot and the two Jokers that we've had a look at on this channel. Haven't picked up the Harley Quinn yet, but looking forward to doing that. And what's interesting is that there's Harley Quinn down below here. And that looks like that's Deadshot down there as well. So really neat looking box. I mean, it's... They didn't just phone it in the sense of you know, a box. I think it looks pretty neat. So we'll go ahead and we're going to slide this off, and it consists of an outer sleeve, so we can just take that off. And then you've got this thing that we've seen before. Let me just move this out of the way because there's going to be shadowing. We don't want shadows. No shadows in this video. I'm just going to move this box and just kind of put it aside. Okay, so we've got your cast and crew responsible for making the Batman figure possible. And then we can just go ahead and open this up. Watchful of the accessories not falling out everywhere. Okay, so I think I'm probably just going to lay this down. And I'm going to grab my knife. So here's your first tray of contents. I'm going to try my best not to knock these everywhere. Just cut the tape. Alright, let's peel that off. Okay, so for your contents, looks like we got 6 interchangeable hands, 4 Batarangs. It looks like the Batarangs are the exact same. We've got the bat burning tool that he uses. So that's pretty neat. You got your grapnel gun, a couple of different cables, one of which is extended completely, and then you've got one that has kind of a little zigzag to it. That's kind of neat. This feels like it's plastic, so I'd be a little weary about longevity. Make sure that you don't bang that. Where's it metal? I can't tell. Feels like it could be metal. Maybe it is metal. And then you've got the retracted grapple on the end of it. They give you also a large, well, an extended out grapple hook. Let's see what else we got in here. Of course, your grapple gun. You can see where that connects to the end of it. And a couple of little areas on the sides for some extra hooks. They give you some extra hooks down below here. You've got the kryptonite grenades. Of course, you've got your grenade gun. That looks pretty good. Doesn't really have a whole lot of paint to it, but... And I guess, is there a strap or something that's included? I'm seeing these little hooks on the sides. I'm assuming those little loops here are for a reason. We'll find out that when we get this. Like I said, this is just an unboxing. This is just my initial take on this figure before we get down to reviewing him. Okay, so we'll take the tray off. I know you're probably not seeing much right at the minute because obviously I have to lay it down. Here's your Batman. And what do we got for contents here? This is for, I guess, popping out the mouthpieces and the eyepieces. And you got a couple of interchangeable pegs. Love that. I always have no issues with that. You got a couple, here we go, a couple of eyes, which seems so strange that they're in this color. But really, it's only the eye area that you're going to see. You're not going to see the rest of the eyes. But it just looks weird seeing them. They're kind of like this uncomfortable sort of flesh tone to them. One pair of eyes are kind of slightly angled up. These ones are tilted to the side. And if we just look at the Batman figure, there's his eyes right now. And just to show you, see, it's only the eyeball area that you're really going to see. They tilt to the side, those eyes, and then these ones here are slightly angled up. They don't really they don't look all that different, really, to be honest. And then we've got some interchangeable mouths. Get those out. Get those out. There we go. So the mouth on Batman is closed shut, but they give you a slightly gapped mouth, just enough to show his teeth. And then there's a second mouth that has more of the grimace, like, oh, I'm gonna get you, Batman, or I'm gonna get you, Superman. I'm not obviously gonna get myself. I'm gonna get you, Batman. Do you bleed? You will. Next, looks like we got ourselves another hand. Possibly for holding a Batarang. Packaged on its own, it wasn't with the rest of the hands. And then we've got the Bat breathing mask that we saw in Suicide Squad. It looks like these are flaps, but they're not obviously flapped. They look like they could peel out, not peel out, but fold out. We got this also with Deadshot, which is basically the same mouth component. And lastly, just before we look at Batman, we got ourselves a display stand. And a display stand has that same Suicide Squad motif with the logo on the one side, the bullseye on the other, and then now you've got Batman in the middle as opposed to Deadshot, Joker, Harley Quinn, which we will look at. I'm not super impressed with the display base. I don't know what it needs to be. If it's supposed to be a realistic representation of the outside with the manhole cover of Gotham City, it doesn't feel like it's actually realistic enough. Again, I really don't know what I'm expecting from the display stand. I mean, the other ones were kind of more artsy sort of representations, but this one here, I feel like if it wants to be outside, why didn't they just use an image of outside, like the actual outside of the set? This looks like it's more like a painting rather than it. So initial thoughts, I'm a little iffy on that display base. I mean, the front is really what you're going to be seeing when you have this guy on the display. I don't think anybody's really going to go up to your collection, look down on the display base and say, "Oof, that base is poor." Again, it looks weird because I don't know what it wants to be. Is it want to be like an artist, like a painting representing the Gotham City, outside? If it's supposed to be outside, it doesn't look like it. It just looks like it's more of a painting or like some artsy interpretation of what it's supposed to be. You've also got an adjustable neck for displaying Batman in more dynamic poses. And of course, that's not going to help you at all unless you've got yourself a waist clip. And they've got a waist clip there as well. So there's your contents. There is basically the box in a nutshell. And I know I'm probably going to get some shadowing on the side here. So let's have a look at Batman here. We're going to take the plastic off. And take the hand off here. Take the gloves off. So we just take this plastic out. And we'll just replace that. There we go. Do the same thing on the other side. Fist, glove, plastic insert, bye-bye. And we'll just replace that. There we go. And we can take the plastic off the booties. Am I the only one that gets really bothered by when they tape the plastic? Because my first notion is I kind of just want to pull it off, and because it's taped so tightly, I have to then stop, and I have to get something to kind of cut it. That always bothers me. I don't know why that bothers me so much, but I noticed there's plastic in here. Maybe I don't need to lift the boots out. See if I can actually get there without taking the boots off. I think I may have to take the boots off. It's not really enough that I care to do it right now. And you got the plastic on the cape. We can take that off. And there, in a nutshell, is Batman. Just get him to stand straight up here. Straighten out his cape. Points right away to the cape. The cape gives you a nice flow. I mean, look how much clearance that cape gives you. That would definitely help for displaying him. If you want to get like really crazy with the displaying. It looks like he's got no wire frame. Oh, maybe he does. Okay, he's got one wire frame here, and then I would imagine then he'd have the same on this side. Okay, so he's got two here, and then he's got two on the outside here as well, so he can bend and manipulate the cape. We don't sometimes Batman really spreading his cape, this particular Batman. I can't see myself probably doing the same. I would just be displaying him probably what you see right here. A little bit more creative, I would say, than what you're seeing right now. Right now it's just pretty sad, but we'll of course change that. Okay, so let's look at the figure. The figure has a very not noticeable, like he's got a material that's covering over his torso, but he's got very, very muscular legs. Like these don't feel padding. I mean, they're just solid plastic, and then you've got the stretched fabric over top of it. The arms are also the kind of the same sort of thing. It's only really the torso that has like a rubbery padding to it. Also around his bat emblem. But this is definitely a denser plastic. Boots are pretty good, other than that little bit of plastic I gotta take out. I'm not even gonna worry about it just now. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just, again, initial thoughts. Face, let's look at his face. There we go. Face sculpt. It's pretty good, actually. Now, this is actually one good example of why I'm glad I waited. I was one of those few, I say few, that missed my chance getting the Batman v Superman Batman. I debated it. I thought, maybe I'll hold off, or maybe I'll go back to it and get it later. I went back to it later, and sure enough, it was sold out. Yeah, story of my life. So I went on eBay. Yeah, crazy numbers for buying Batman v Superman. I feel like he was like in the 400s or so, and that's US. So then you start doing your conversion. Oh, it's just ugly. Just so ugly. Then I saw a pre-order for the Suicide Squad Batman. And I thought, no, I'm not going to have the same thing happen to me that happened to me before. I'm pre-ordering this guy right now, and I started making my installment plans. And I've mentioned it in a couple of reviews already. I mean, the installment plans is a great idea that if you can't afford it, I certainly couldn't afford Batman right off the bat. So I started using the installment plans. And I think the first installment plan was about $45, which is pretty reasonable. And then I think this guy was supposed to be released a little later into the year. And then I got a little notification that he has already begun shipping. So then I had to pay, I paid the remaining amount, and that's basically where we are right now. Face sculpt, though, I'm really happy with the face sculpt. I think it looks good. This part bothers me. I don't know why. I don't know what this is supposed to be. For the obvious reasons that he needs to rotate his head slightly, I feel like that can't be attached to the torso. But I feel like I've got this little, I don't know if it's glue or like a little frayed section that's sticking out from the tip. I don't know if I'll maybe try to tuck that underneath, or maybe just take some scissors or something and try to clean that up a bit, trying to make it a little bit flatter, like cut it to it's really only about there, because this little extra overhang bothers me a little bit. Face sculpt, though, is pretty good. Cape's good. Oh, I lost the hand. The hand must have fallen off. Where'd the hand go? Oh, the hand must, oh, I think the hand's on the floor. My initial thoughts, minus, of course, the fact that Batman is handless. I find that the suit is a little too dark. I'm gonna have to like go back and watch the movie again. I mean, I'm all speaking of few. I think I'm also the few that actually enjoyed Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman. Although I think the director's cut of Batman v Superman is far superior than the original theatrical release. I find the cape is a little on the dirty side. Like, I get it's supposed to be dirty on the bottom portion, but it almost feels as if it's more a quality problem than it is supposed to be you know, just aged and worn and stuff. It looks like it's just a little too pale down here. Again, I'm really not going to see it much because I'm going to be displaying the cape probably behind Batman. But going back to what I was saying, the costume seems like it's a little dark. I've been of mixed emotions when it came to the Ben Affleck design. I love the design, but then certain angles of the Bat costume, especially in Batman v Superman, he looks really chunky, like really hefty, fat. The Hot Toys here, he looks a little on the poofy side, but not to the extreme that I thought he would look. And apparently, I think the Batman v Superman Batman was actually a little bigger and bulkier than what we got with the Suicide Squad. I think the Suicide Squad, they trimmed down the figure a little bit or made him a little more streamlined, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the costume color. I get that his costume is a fairly dark color anyways, but I feel like this is maybe a little too... I probably would turn the shade up one lighter for the costume. And I think for the Justice League movie, Batman gets a much more grayer looking costume than this one here, which is almost even more borderline, kind of like a dark silver. Again, I don't know how crazy I am about the costume color. I would definitely have to go back and kind of re-watch the movie and re-watch Suicide Squad to kind of see what the coloring is for his costume in the movie. The utility belt's pretty good. Got some scratches going in there. The Bat emblem, once again, is very hard to make out. Again, I would just turn the scale up a little lighter on that. I would have to check the movie to see how lighter it is than this. Maybe this is the right color, and I just imagine it to be a much lighter gray. But the Bat emblem is very hard to make out. It's got some scratches and stuff all over it. Utility belt's pretty good. The gold looks a little like it's just been brushed on, which I guess is maybe not that far off. Bat booty. Again, your boots. You got some gold accents and stuff like that. Overall, I mean, my initial thoughts of this, keeping in mind this is only an unboxing of this guy so far. We're going to do the full review after this guy. Initial thoughts, I'm very happy that I got him. I think if I hadn't picked up the Suicide Squad, I would have kicked myself. Granted, I know right around the corner, as any Hot Toys collector knows, right around the corner there's going to be a Justice League Batman. Same as we got a Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman Wonder Woman, which I will be getting when she gets released. And then just as quickly as we got a Batman v Superman Wonder Woman, now we're going to be getting a Justice League Wonder Woman. So it's worse for Marvel because Marvel's always churning out new movies that as quickly as you get one figure, they immediately release another figure only a few months, maybe a year later. Wanted to get an Ant-Man, didn't get an Ant-Man. Now they had the Civil War Ant-Man. I didn't get him. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'll just hold off. I'm sure there'll be an Avengers 3 Ant-Man. Again, like with these, I know there's going to be a Justice League Batman. He's probably going to, you know, physically in hand, he's going to be probably a lighter shade. And I think the cowl, they've kind of streamlined the cowl a little bit. So it's going to be looking a little bit different than what we see right here. So that would entertain me to get... I mean, Batman's for me. Batman's and Superman's, I will... Basically, those are my go-tos. I'll pick up any new Batman, any new Superman as they come out. Same with Jokers. I'll generally try to get all the Jokers and stuff. I think I'm much more a faithful collector when it comes to DC than I am, honestly, with Marvel. Marvel, I'll only get so many Iron Mans and so many, you know, so many Captain Americas. But like the DC stuff, I think I'm much more faithful to. And I probably would be picking up more of these. But the Batman, I mean, initial thoughts, because I guess this is really what this unboxing is all about. Initial thoughts, I like the head sculpt. The body doesn't look as poofy as I was worried it was going to be. I don't like the cape. I don't like how muddy the cape looks at the bottom. I get he's dragging it. You know, it's not something that's off the ground sort of thing, but it does seem like it's awfully faded. And maybe like the transitioning of it, the black should have been further down, and that muddiness should have only been at the bottom. It doesn't read as much dirty as it just reads like unfinished, like from a factory standpoint. I feel like the gray's a little on the dark side, but I think I'll warm up to that, or maybe after a couple more viewings of Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, I might change my opinion of that, and maybe like the coloring of the suit is the correct coloring. Initial thoughts, though, I'm happy. I think I guess at the end of it, because I mean, this, not that the reviews are scripted, I mean, but from my initial take, just off the cuff, like opening to viewing, I like the figure. I think I would like him more if he had a few things changed to him, but overall I'm pretty impressed with the figure. So there's my unboxing. We had a look at the Batman, well, not Batman v Superman, but we're looking at Batman from the new Suicide Squad release. And of course, this isn't the review. The couple of unboxings I did before, somebody said, well, didn't you already review this guy? Well, no, this is just my initial out of package initial thoughts. This is, again, just unscripted, just right off the cuff, off the record sort of opinions of it. And then we'll kind of get to a more meatier review of him afterwards. But just an unboxing so far of the Batman v Superman from Suicide Squad. Initial thoughts, I'm a little on the fence, but I think I'm more happier with it than I'm unhappy with it, if that means anything. So like I said, guys, the review of the Suicide Squad Batman, he will be right around the corner. And of course, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that little subscribe button down below. I know I'm gonna grab the fist and see where, somewhere on the floor. I'm gonna pick that up. I'm gonna put it back in Batman's socket. And like I said, more videos are heading your way. As always, guys, thanks for watching as you always do. I'll see you next time.